what's up, cold gamers and people who are trying to understand gamers? Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Dark Frost Gamer. In today's video, it is mostly going to be the same thing as yesterday. It's going to be a deduction theory time with me, with Dark Frost Gamer. But the only difference is that this is going to be the edited version, and as well, you're going to see the notes that I had taken, during gathering the information that I had on chapter 1 and chapter 2 for this case, which is called I believe it was the Demon's Playground. Yeah, the Devil's Playground. Excuse me. Okay, so we are going to be tackling the very first, or the third place that would, or the third suspect that would most likely kill Tom Blackwaters, but it is very unlikely to happen, but it's a very low possibility. But I want to throw in the very lowest possible suspects that might kill Tom Blackwaters, which is we're going to Hannah Herzberger. Before you get to watch some of the scenes that I get to interrogate with this suspect, which is, her name is Hannah. So we're going to read along or listen to what I have gathered during, of course, chapter 2. The only time that I get to discover Hannah Herzberger is on chapter 2. There's no chapter 1. On chapter 2, that's the time that I get to meet her. Okay. The fifth suspect. This is also the fifth suspect. Okay. The fifth suspect, the daughter of Ezekiel and an Amish girl dating a modern English guy. Okay. Which her name is Hannah Herzberger. Hannah was requesting to the police that her secret lover must be kept secret to the Amish community, which if it was found out by the Amish community, she would be shunned for life. I have slightly suspicious that she might kill Tom Blackwater because it was the same place that the murdered weapon was found. It is also seems to be the place where Hannah and Tom were kissing in the kissing spot scene, which, of course, the reason why I had, or Jones wanted to interrogate her with the player, because anyone could literally play this game, is her name was discovered by a faded love letter note for Tom. I think that was on a crime scene, yes, on the kissing spot, which makes me really suspicious of Hannah. You'll be seeing a clip of where I discovered the murder weapon that was used on Tom Blackwaters, so yeah, have fun on watching that clip. Hey, what up, this is Dark Frost Gamer. What up, gamers, my viewers, and my non-gamers who just wants to watch this video game of me playing, on understanding. If you're watching video game gameplays to understand gamers, I appreciate that. And without further ado, we will be continuing on our investigation criminal case. We will be heading to chapter 2. So here we go. Oh, it's caused no stars as well. That's pretty good. It's nice. It's really convincing. Okay, now if you haven't watched the previous chapter, which is chapter 1 on this case, number 36, Devil's Playground, it's stated by Ramirez. He says that Dark Frost Gamer, your victim was seen with an Amish girl. Okay, I'll be like, oof, okay, my bad if the gameplay kinda sounds like a crappy Okay, I don't know what the heck is going on. What the? Amish aren't allowed to date non-Amish people. If ever it was found out, it could have caused a scandal in the Amish community. But how on earth will we ever find out who that Amish girl was? When I was younger, I always used to take my future wife to be to the kissing spot. It's the most romantic place in all of Grimsborg. So maybe that's where your lovebirds went. I will be speeding this video up on OBS to see how it goes because this gameplay it's really taking me slow. Thanks for sharing, Ramirez, but it's true if Tom and his Amish girlfriend wanted somewhere secluded from the world, it'll make sense. They'll go there. Well, Dr. Calmer, what do you say? We go check it out. If you hurry, you'll be able to catch the sunset. It's so beautiful. Okay. Oh boy, that's a lot. We should be getting the evidence first, then we can talk to him. Look at that sunset, Darfos Camera, and the view. The spot overlooks the whole of Grimsborg. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I've played this one today because damn, it's so damn slow. You're right, you're right. Let's not get sidetracked. We're here to look for clues as to whether our victim came here with a Amish girl. Ready when you are. Alright. This is going to be really funny for you guys because right now my voice is speeding up. But right now it's taking really long to finish this game and it's starting to irritate me. Okay, right. Let's see. Meteorite. Got squirrel, flying saucer. Oh, no wonder why it's slow. Okay. I think I kinda know why. Okay. Pile of dirt. Pitchfork. Okay, pile of dirt. Pitchfork. Oh yeah, that's a bloody pitchfork by the way. Oh my god. Oof, I wonder who it is. Like, damn. Flying saucer. I think it's this one. No, that's not that one. Then where is it? Somewhere around here. Oh, okay, there we go. An alien spaceship. I thought I thought it was a toy. You have to flung around. Oh my god, Darfo Scour, look at this pitchfork. It's covered in blood. And you're right, Nathan did say our victim died from a pitchfork stabbing. Chances are that blood on it is our victim's, and that this pitchfork is a murder weapon. Let's get the forensic kit out and search it for clues. I knew it. Alright, I analyzed the blood from the bloody fibers you retrieved from that pitchfork you found at the kissing spot, and I can confirm it belonged to your victim. Alright, let's go. So we found our murder weapon. Kudos to you, Seth. Our frost counter. God dang, I almost forgot that I am Dark Frost Cover whenever I am playing this game. Okay. I wish I could have, put it that way when I was choosing my name for this game. But anyways. As for the bloody egg fibers you collected, it turns out various strands are actually blonde human hairs, and since Tom wasn't blonde, it can only be our killer. Thanks, Nathan. Oh. If Grace would have analyzed those hairs, I'm sure she would have found out more, but since she's looking after your key murder witness, I had to make do. Don't worry about it, Nathan. You did great. The killer has blonde hair. Okay. Murder weapon found. Pitchfork. Oh my god, you're right there, Frostcam. When we first spoke to our murder witness, Isaac, about the killer, he didn't make much sense. He described the killer as being an actual monster with razor-sharp claws. But in reality, the monster's claws must have been the pitchfork. This is amazing. It actually means that Isaac is a reliable witness. And we still need to wait for Grace to slowly get the boy to open up before we hope to learn anything else about what he really saw. Oh heck yeah. It's speeding right now. But anyway, let's investigate these clues. Never know what we might find. It might be a bracelet, an earring, or something else that relates to the killer. I don't know. Ooh, here we are. You found faded notes. So, what bird treasure did you find in that pile of dirt from the kissing spot, first comer? A note, and look, there's a victim's name written on it. Why on earth would he go through the trouble of burning a note? I wonder. Good point, Arthur's camera. If you could recover the faded text, maybe the mystery will reveal itself. Well, I actually am interested. Let's do that one first. I want to see what's written on it. I'm excited. The more mystery it gets, the more excited I become. I vow to love you in this life and the next. What? Hannah? Hannah Hansberger? Who's that? I thought it was Madison Springer for a sec. As skilled as ever, Frost Goblin. Look at the writing on this note you recovered. It's a promise between two lovers. I vow to love you in this life and the next. Hannah Herzberger from Tom Blackwater. Hannah Herzberger? That's the same last name as Ezekiel and Isaacs. So Tom was in love with an Amish girl. Whoa, that would have been well accepted. That wouldn't have been well accepted by the Amish community. You're right. Hannah must be Ezekiel's daughter. Come on, we better go talk to her. Okay. Alright, let's talk to Hannah Herzberger. More like a hamburger. Okay, let's get serious now. Hannah Herzberger, we've recently found out you were romantically linked to our murder victim, Tom Blackwater, and shh, I beg of you to keep quiet. If my community found out I was with a non-Amish, I would be shunned for life. It is against the Ord now. Meet me at the kissing spot and I will tell you everything. Now, please go before I get in trouble. Back at the kissing spot. Thank you for being discreet, Commissioner Darfrost. Maybe it's hard for you to understand, but we Amish have very strict rules to follow. We understand, Hannah, and in our eyes, you haven't done anything wrong. But could you tell us about your relationship with Tom Blackwater? Oh, Tom, the first time I saw him, I thought he was cute, but I was shocked by his eyes. They were cold as if he were completely devoid of love. But every time Tom came by, I saw a change in his eyes. In his heart, he was falling in love with our lifestyle. I was sure of it. And then one day I caught him trying to learn our language, Pennsylvanian Dutch. He asked me to teach him, and I agreed to do so in secret. Wow, what a true lovebirds. We quickly became hopelessly, madly in love, even with all the elements against us. We didn't care, we had each other. Wow. Oh Tom, what cruel fate is it to find your one true love, to taste heaven only to then have God take it all away from you. Wow, that must have been really depressing right there. Poor Hannah, she braved her community just to be with Tom, and she clearly loved him so much, and now. I know, Josh Roscower, when it comes to tales of star-crossed lovers, it's impossible not to get all emotional. Oh, yeah, I do. But once that emotion has already been stretched, my dark side eats them. Yeah. And welcome back, cold and calm and dark gamers, and to those people trying to understand the gamer's mindset. Anyways, now that you have seen those clips that I had to, those clips were the step-by-step process that I get to meet Hannah. Now, the first time that I did, I was somewhat slightly suspicious of her, thinking that she had the confidence and guts to go into the kissing spot scene, which is, it was the scene where Tom Blackwaters and Hannah were, being in a girlfriend and boyfriend relationship, but not to forget the fact that it is also the same place that the note that she gave him to Tom, and as well as the same place that the murder weapon was found. And I was somewhat very skeptical about this. I don't know how the note ended up being buried there. I do not know how to try to deduce on who it might be, or how come that note end up on the muddy ground of the kissing spot. Which, but of course, then again, she did love Tom Blackwaters, so I might put her in the that is why I put her in the very lower place of possible list of suspects that might kill Tom Blackwaters. But again, this is just a theory. This is just a deduction theory because I don't know what happens on chapter 3. Anything could happen in chapter 3. Oh yeah, speaking about the star-crossed lovers, there's also a similar case that happened like this before, and I will try to leave them in the link in the description, or if I ever did recorded it. I think I did. And yeah, pretty much she could have been she could be the murderer for whatever reason. Maybe I don't know, they had argued, and like, I don't know, maybe killing him was the right reason. I mean, not like it's the correct choice, or maybe it is the only choice that she has. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the clip for Hannah, and let's move on to the next suspect, shall we? Alright, we are going to be dealing with the second suspect. Oh, excuse me. Alright, now that's not. Alright, we are going to deal with the second suspect, which his name is Mr. Ezekiel Hirschberger. Now, the thing with Mr. Ezekiel is that he's very pride with his religious status, which I think it is a very 99% chance that he is, or he will be, innocent on chapter 3. But hey, guess what? In this real world, there was at least one Amish kid that would turn out to be a criminal killer, and his name was Edward Gingrich. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. If not, then I'm sorry for butchering his name, but anyway. But the reason why I suspect him is mostly because if he found out that his daughter is dating a non-Amish, then of course he would have the right to, to be mad. He would have the right to be pissed off, and who knows what the father could do if, oh my gosh, you're not supposed to marry, or you should not be in a relationship with someone who is not Amish like us, so I have the right to kill your boyfriend. So, but yeah, that is just a theory of mine. That is pretty much why I think I place him in the second spot. Now, there will be more of this one. There will be more points on why I think he is most likely to kill Tom Blackwaters. Now, before we get to the very number one most suspect that would kill Tom Blackwaters, I feel like Mr. Ezekiel and Mr. Dylan Cobbs, which is the employee of Golden Land, are somewhat linked on this case, because if Mr. Ezekiel knew that his daughter is dating a non-Amish guy, and then of course Dylan knew as well. And what if, they had a conversation? Hey, my employee is dating your daughter. Let's make a deal. You you kill the daughter of your, or you kill my employee, and then I don't know what kind of offer would Mr. Dillon would bring to the table for Mr. Ezigo. I don't know, probably a new and in a better, much more peaceful land or whatever. So let's say for a fact that Dylan offer Mr. Ezigo like, hey, I have a better place for your Amish community to live, where it's a place where there's no technology, blah blah blah. But of course, you have the supplies for for light and water and food, all that stuff, which is, I think, it's the best offer that Dylan would make. Is because think about it. If he kills the employer of Dylan, which is of course the one who is trying to stop Dylan to buy the land, then of course he will get what Mr. Ezigo will get what he wants, which is a land that is very far away from to society, which of course, blah, 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 they think they are evil and this and that. But yeah, that is my theory on why I think this is a planned kill by two people. This is which I think I won't be surprised, because this actually happened during, I think, Financial Center. Yes, it actually happened. It was like, wow, it was like crazy. It was, I think that case was called Secret Experiments, and yeah, there were two suspects that were arrested, and yeah. Yeah, I think that's my take on my for Mr. Ezekiel. I think he really does have the chance to kill Mr. Tom Blackwaters if Mr. Dillon had offered him, he had bribed him in whatever way possible, which I think is a very clever way of, of getting rid of someone who is trying to stop you from your success, which is, Mr. Dillon plans to build a railway and, I don't know, make people happy, even though it's a very somewhat, I don't know, twisted. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the clip that I'm going to show you for Mr. Ezekiel's interrogation. And yeah, on to the next suspect. So there's his son. Okay. What are you doing talking to my son like that? Can't you see Isaac's in no state to talk? I mean, you no shit. We're sorry, Mr. Herberger, but it's police regulation. We're treating him the best we can, and the woman from the department will stay here to look after him. Oh, why did this murder have to be on our land? We try and close ourselves off from the evils of the outside world, and still they try to come in. How can you be so sure it wasn't an Amish who killed that boy? Resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy cheek, turn him the other. And also, that is from the gospel. That is from the gospel of the. And it means we Amish are not killers. We strongly believe in non-violence. We would rather be killed than even defend ourselves. That is God's will. Okay, on to the very last suspect that would most likely kill Tom Blackwaters. So let's say, for example, in theory, let's say Ezekiel denied Dylan's request, and he doesn't know what Dylan's talking about. He doesn't know the fact that his daughter is dating a non-Amish, so let's exclude that. He doesn't know anything, blah blah blah, I don't know what you're talking about, get off my land. So he is out of the picture, just for, theory. So where do I even begin with Dylan Cobbs? I feel like there's a lot of hidden key points that he would be most likely to be the killer on this case, which is case number 36, titled The Devil's Playground. He is the fourth suspect of the case, and I say fourth suspect because he was the fourth that I get to interrogate, the fourth suspect that I had discovered based on the evidence that I had gathered from and the clues that I got from each crime scene. Okay. He is also one of the employee. Now, I don't know who the president of the Golden Land Company, but I'm pretty sure he's an employee, and he works there, and he is also the trainer of Tom Blackwaters. So yeah. So Tom's latest assignment for him was to buy the Amish land so that he would be able to build a railway through it. When I was interrogating him on chapter 1, Dylan was somewhat in a hurry, yet in a very calm manner, which it is highly suspicious that he is acting this way. He also claims that someone in the Amish community could have killed him, which makes me suspicious of him more and more. Now, he did say that he does have a minute, but I don't think that's enough time to discuss the crime. And the reason why the player and Jones interrogated him was because his name was mentioned, knowing the fact that Tom Blackwaters works for his company, and the confidential compact disc has info about his company, it was discovered in chapter 1. Now, I don't know if anyone does this. Why the heck would you write confidential on a disc if they don't even, if it's like a secret, like work, or it could be anything, I don't know. Now, the player and Jones interrogated him again on, I think it was on chapter 2, which Jones states that, which is said, I just edited what he said here. Jones claims that several sources claims that Dylan was fighting with Tom on the outskirts of the Amish community, which Grace has stated. He becomes more distant about the crime in a very short period of time, but he eventually speaks up after Jones suggested that he can be locked up. And of course, he speaks up. Dylan also states that he really wanted to buy land. In desperation, he even tries to impress the Amish community by going there in a horseback, and he also said that his boots was covered with balls of mud. Tom eventually tried stopping Dylan on buying the land. He also started to respect the Amish people, which is Tom was doing right during, during chapter, I think that's what Mr. Dylan said, yeah. The community. He said that the life lesson that Tom could learn was a bit too late, which Amish people should not be trusted. And that's what he said on chapter 2. And the reason why we interrogated him again was because Tom Blackwater was recently seen with an Amish girl, which was stated by Ramirez, and Jones testified that buying the Amish land must have complicated things by dating the Amish girl, and that's why when Dylan probably figured out that his employee is dating this Amish chick, and that pissed him off. Maybe that's why. Oh my gosh, maybe that's why my employee is trying to stop my success. So I had to kill this guy. I have to kick the bucket for him. So, yeah, that is the entire reason. I will also be including the clips of on the interrogations that we had on chapter 1 and chapter 2. It was becoming really cold. It was really fun. So I hope you enjoy that clip. And yeah, let's move on to the innocent suspects. Why does my phone have to ring just as we're about to leave? I will keep it short. Hello? Hello there. Look, I should be talking on the phone. Why? Are you in trouble, Grace? Of course not, silly. I'm just trying to be respectful of the Amish. Wait, they don't believe in modern technology. But I thought I should phone because I've been asking around the community, and Dylan was recently spotted fighting with your victim. As for the murder witness, Isaac, he's starting to open up, but he's not there yet. I'll keep you posted. Good luck out there. Having your employee fall for an Amish girl must have complicated Dylan's attempt to buy up the Amish land. You're right, Darfroskauer. We should go talk to him. Wow. This is Alright, I'm back. I finally sorted it out. Hopefully it would speed up a little bit. Anyway, let's go talk to Dylan Cobbs and see what he has to say about this. Dylan, various sources claim to have seen you fighting with Tom on the outskirts of the Amish community. Oh, come on, I don't have time for this. We can always handcuff you and take you back to the station, see if that's quicker. Look, I was desperate to buy that Amish land. I went there on horseback to impress them. Heck, I even helped them with the farming until my boots looked like balls of mud. I mean, I really wanted that land. But when I sent Tom there to help me buy it, the fool started to respect those freaks and he tried to stop me from buying the land. I got mad, but then I figured, what the hell? He's just a kid. I guess his last life lesson that the Amish aren't to be trusted came a bit too late. Kinda suspicious. Dylan Cobbs rides horses and wears boots. Oof, boy. That jerk feels no empathy, which just in passing happens to be one of the main traits of serial killers. But I'm impressed that Tom managed to stand up against Dylan by trying to stop him from buying out the Amish community. Okay, now the very last pieces of list of possible innocent people for this case. For this case only, I don't know what these two suspects might likely happen, or hopefully they will not get involved. Is most especially Isaac. Now maybe Madison will, which it kind of makes sense. But let's first talk about Isaac here a little bit. Okay. All right. For Isaac, the reason why I think he is not he is not the possible murderer for this case is just that I know there was a case that I had to arrest that kid. I think that was, I don't know which case that was, but I will try to find it. I think it was I don't know, but I will leave it in the description as well, and the title of that case. But anyway, he is the first suspect that witnessed the murder, which is of course Isaac. The status that he was in, he was somewhat traumatized, and the reason why we were about to interrogate him, well, we were about to, apparently the status that he is in is he is traumatized. He was a witness of the murder, but we cannot we cannot talk to him at that time on chapter 1, was the witness of the murder event or the killer of Tom Blackwater. I think that's pretty much it that I could say for Isaac. But for Madison, oh boy, this is a good one. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hold on, let's drag her profile or her identification a little bit closer. Oops, there we go. Okay, this was a good one because there's a lot of information that needs to be digested. Okay, she is the third suspect of the case. She is, I call her Double Life Girl because apparently she was a cheerleader, a modern type of girl in English, identity, and apparently she grew up in an Amish community. By the time she was 16, she eventually experienced Rumspringa, which is the time where teenager, which get to explore, I don't know, certain things that Amish should not do, which would eventually make up her own mind to live with the English people. The status that she was in was somewhat anxious about her secret being discovered of her double life because she would be shunned if we did, or if the Amish community knew that she was living with the English people. And the reason why we interrogated her, the reason why the player and Jones interrogated her, was because her name was discovered in the Bible after brushing invisible text on a Bible. Jones also suspected that she was living 2 different lives, which I guess so. And then we interrogated her again, and the reason why we interrogated her was the victim's FriendNet account was searched by Alex. He discovered that the victim was having a conversation with Madison Springer about their secrets and letting each other know that they should keep their own secrets private. And the status she was in chapter 2 was somewhat apologetic because Madison stated that lying to her Amish community and to her friends has become her second nature to her, and she also said that she was not afraid that her secret would be revealed by Tom because she could see that Tom had changed for the better, even though it was too late. At the end of chapter 2, she warned us about her cousin Hannah about her suicide attempt. Now, clearly, there will be some, profiles that would appear here. Maybe Isaac would be wearing some boots for farm working, which I think it makes sense. And as for Madison, there might be a little bit of profile here that is somewhat similar to the 5 evidence that I need to obtain to arrest the killer, which hopefully it will not match those 5 categories because she would become the killer. But then again, this is just a theory on why I think these 2 suspects are innocent and they have nothing to do with Tom Blackwater's death. But if they did get involved in the additional investigation, then maybe, I don't know, there will be a little bit of surprises there, but you'll get to see that one on the additional investigation. Okay, I will be giving you some clips on these 2 suspects, and I hope you enjoy watching them. And after you watch those 2 clips, I will also be adding a little bit more. I will be talking about the hidden clues or like hidden words that Dylan Cobbs that have or should not have said, and this is probably the number 1 reason why I think he might be the killer. So yeah, and what's up, my gamers and my viewers? It's early in the morning. It's 5:26, and I have managed to collect 10 stars, and yeah. So I decided to use these stars when we are still waiting for 7 hours and 37 minutes and seconds counting. So yeah, let's get into it. We are going to talk to suspects, and we are dealing with the forensic items that's in the forensic kit. So we go. Who is this little kid? So it is 4-footer, 8 years old. Grace, why are you dressed like an average woman? Chief King and I agreed that it would be best if I dressed like them so as to fit in better while I kept watch over Isaac. And I'm sorry to first cover, but I don't think little Isaac will be able to tell you much about the murder he witnessed. The poor lamb is so shaken up. He's not making much sense, and I'm scared talking to him about it will just make things worse. Our first cover will be careful with him. Grace, we promise, but we have to try. We'll even let you do the talking if that helps. Hello, Isaac. We know how very scary this must be for you, but Commissioner Garforce needs to know what you saw so that we can catch the bad person who did this. It wasn't a person. It was this huge monster, a beast with razor sharp claws. It chased after that man, and it was pure slick. Pure what? Slick. It is our word for evil. It was exactly like the monsters my father always told me about. Oh God, the monster picked the man up and threw him high into the air, and it roared so loudly, and then there was blood everywhere. Shh, don't worry. You're safe now, Isaac, we promise. Isaac seems convinced that it was an actual monster that killed our victim. Why do you think that is crazy? Isaac just can't accept that a human could be capable of such a gruesome act, and the only way he could process it is by turning the killer into an actual monster. It will take time for him to even be able to remember the details of what really went on. As a keen murder witness, we would normally take him back to the station for protection, but because of the case, Amish believes that would be disrespectful. Doctors, please let me stay here in the Amish community to look after Isaac. I promise I'll slowly get him to remember, but it needs to be done with care. Really? Well, after all, there's nobody we trust more with children. I guess later we could sub for you until all this is over. Let's see what is written. There we go. Excellent work, Professor. So what's up with writing you comes from the Bible that you found in the pharmacy? I vow to never stray from the knowledge and to resist the English way, Madison Springer. Huh? Do you think this is the Madison Springer Road College cheerleader who often gets caught up in our investigations? But if it is the Madison we know, it wouldn't make one drop of sense for her to refer to the Ordnung, which is the Amish set of rules. Unless she is actually Amish. But surely that's impossible. I mean, look at her. She's everything Amish stand against. You're right, Francisco. We should just go and ask her before my mind implodes. Madison Spring. Oh boy, I hope I will not make a mistake again. making you the murderer. Especially on the deduction time in the first theory deduction time. I suspected you to be a murderer, but hopefully not in this case. Man. Madison, we need your help in solving quite a mystery. We have reason to believe you're Amish. Is that true? What? That's just like so absurd. Do I even look freaking Amish to you? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm kind of probable to organize. Okay then, I guess I'll just go back to the Amish community and ask them if they know this party loving cheerleader girl. Alright, just please don't tell anyone. It's true, I'm Amish. I was born and grew up there, and I was always told what I could and could not do. And then when I was of age, Springer came along and freed me. It is a time in an Amish teenager's life where they can leave the community to live among you people, the English. But now that a college student has been murdered on Amish soil, I'm scared they'll force me to come back. Wait a second, Tom Blackwater was a student at Filmora College? Yeah, I only knew Tom by reputation. He was an asshole and a massive womanizer. I'm not saying I'm glad he's dead, but a lot of girls will be. I know, Frost Goblin. I just can't believe Madison is Amish either. I mean, she's the most popular girl at Prince William College. It's insane. Just imagine how hard to work to keep her Amish fate a secret all these years. And there's no way her community knows what she is up to in college. Otherwise, they would have shunned her for good. You're right. It must be extremely stressful having to lead a double life like that, and it seems we greatly underestimated her. Alright, what's up, my gamers, my cold, dark, and calm gamers? It's your gamer, Dark Frost Calmer, and for those for those people who tries to understand the minds of the gamers, welcome, and we are back in Criminal Case. We're back with the results of the FriendNet account and with the bloody fibers, just what we had been waiting for such a very long time. Okay. So I searched through your victim's FriendNet account, and boy did he have a rocking social life. But more to the point, I checked his private messages and I found quite a few changes between Madison, Springer, and him. And I'm telling you, it's quite the story. See, your victim found out Madison was Amish. Something she wanted to keep deadly secret from the students at Filmora College. Oh, this is interesting. Exactly, but Madison found out Tom wanted to buy up the Amish territory to turn it into a railway line. Okay, this is getting interesting. And that's something Tom wanted to keep deadly secret from the Amish because he promised Madison that he had changed. So both had deadly secrets on one another, which means neither one could tell any. That's quite the mind game. But now Tom has taken the secret to his grave, which makes Madison one of our prime suspects. Come on, Sally. We've got some grilling to do. Are we going to talk to her about this? Because I feel like we should, you know, got a little bit... Yep, I knew it. Okay. Let's talk to Madison Springer about this. Oh my god. Both had secrets together. Okay, Madison, we have proof that you were in contact with Tom. Yet the first time we spoke to you, you promised us you didn't know him. I'm sorry, I lied. It's just become second nature to me. I have to not only lie to my community, but also to my friends. When I left my Amish community to come here, I first studied how people talked and dressed for hours, just so I could fit in. It may seem crazy to you, but I know you would understand me if only you knew how badly the outside world mocks us Amish. And on the other hand, my Amish community would never accept me living my life like this. They would say it goes against God's will and shun me. I'm tired of the Amish life, and yet if I decide to stay in the English world, once I graduate, I know my community will never allow me back. And before you ask, I wasn't scared of Tom telling anybody about my secret anymore, because I could see he had changed for the better, even though it came too late. Alright, let's have a little bit of fun before, ending this deduction theory time. I know for a fact that he is probably most likely to be the one suspect that would kill Tom Blackwaters. But again, this is just from a theory with, of course, with a little bit of evidence that I had gathered from chapter 1 and chapter 2, that of course including the interrogations that I had with Dylan Cobbs. And as you can see on his status in each chapter, he was cold and distant to the victim. He kind of like trash talked him to the very first time that we interrogated him, and like, dude, the victim's dead. Like, what's the point of trash talking him? And that's the same thing that he did on chapter 2. He was becoming even more cold and distant. He also made a very suspicious statement to Tom Blackwaters, which I think he said it right here. No, I'm trying to find. Okay, Dylan also states that he really wanted to buy the land. In desperation, he even tries to impress the Amish community, which, of course, by going there in a horseback, and he also said that his boots was covered in mud. Balls of mud. Tom eventually tried stopping Dylan. Tom tried to stop Dylan from buying the land. So this means Dylan could have probably made a deal to Mr. Ezekiel. Like, again, maybe Mr. Ezekiel, I don't know, probably made a deal about this, and then okay, yeah, feel free. And then of course, when Tom probably heard their conversation, and of course Tom tried to stop Dylan because he cannot somewhat convince Mr. Ezekiel, knowing the fact that he's an outsider. He decided to stop Dylan instead. But of course he said that the word tried, so which means he killed him. He killed him. He finished him off. Like I said, he kicked the bucket for him, for Tom, and then yeah, he even stepped on him. But yeah, that is my final take on Dylan Cobbs, yeah, Dylan Cobbs, on why I think he is most likely to be the one suspect to be the killer. But then again, who knows what might happen on chapter 3? Maybe Dylan Cobbs was right. Maybe it was one of the Amish people that killed Tom Blackwaters. Maybe it was his girlfriend, or maybe it was the girlfriend's father, knowing the fact that his daughter was dating a non-Amish guy. So, and I hope you enjoy this deduction theory video, the edited version. I don't know, I feel like maybe I should combine the raw version and the edited version with this kind of style of set, just use the painting and then drag their profiles and yeah, picture their faces. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, peace out.